What's happening, fandoms? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we react to music videos on our new channel and shows on this one. Today's show is The Expanse. We're going back and we're in season 1 on episode 5. This one is called Back to the Butcher, and I believe that is a reference to the Butcher of Anderson Station, one of the major events in this show's history, where a bunch of people on a station got murked. They were not really combatants, if I remember correctly, and the military official that did it was forever branded as the Butcher. So that's what I suspect we're in for here. In our last episode, we had our main crew escape the Donager. They took a Marine with them and flew out in a ship. I don't remember the name of the ship, and I don't remember what kind of ship it was. Maybe we didn't know because they just sort of blasted out of there and we never really saw much more of that. So we'll find out more about that ship here shortly, I believe. But yeah, this is exciting. The story is progressing very rapidly and I am so excited. This has been one of the better hard science shows I've ever watched. It's definitely not high fantasy science fiction. It's definitely high science fiction. And I really appreciate that distinction because the immersiveness is very high as a result. So let's go ahead and dive into it, see what we get today. Yeah, I didn't remember that Havelock survived this.
See you tomorrow.
Could be a difference. I haven't gotten back to this point in my reread.
I told you. I said keep your head down, keep your eyes open.
What's the name of the scumbag that paid you to lure him down to Medina so they could jam up a cop?
Passion Fonza coming.
On me without my wallet. Bad.
You put your hands on her again. And you see how fast I get out of this bed, Miller.
I think that's a combination of jealousy and hard, just jadedness, I think. Mars Royal Navy, the Tachi. Ooh, gross. Bloating, low G blood. Oh boy. Ooh, so gross.
I fix ships, not people.
God damn it!
Just hold him still.
Oh. Love stuff just floating in midair. He grabs the glove out of the air.
I'm coming. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, patch him up.
Oh, is this like a Instacast? Very cool. Like nanotechnology? I don't know.
Whatever you say, Bo.
What's her status?
Oh, wow. Then who just sent us a message?
Yeah. Who just sent us a message? Very good question. How did he notice that out of all people? He was the one in excruciating pain and on drugs. I'm not sure if Anderson Station is still operational
Try that one fast.
in this
Oh. That's
world.
okay, honey kitty. Try again.
These are a bunch of refugee-looking people.
This is Anderson Station. Go ahead.
Anderson Station, this is UN-1. Are you ready to surrender?
He shouldn't have been able to track us, but he did.
Yeah,
Isn't he some kind of big shot for the OPA?
He used
What does it matter?
the sensors of the Nauvoo
He offered us help.
to find
We have to go
them.
somewhere.
Well, I say we fly to the nearest Mars base and turn ourselves in.
Think about it. We're the only survivors from the Canterbury and the Donager.
Mm-hmm.
We look like terrorists.
Love the continuity.
No one's
Still
gonna
has the
believe our
blood
story.
on his
I wouldn't
cheek.
believe us. Fred Johnson just offered us a lifeline. I say we take it.
We're not going to Tycho.
We gotta go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Does the dead Martian
Hey,
get a
boss.
vote?
I'm with you, boss.
Then it's 2 against 2.
Always
We're not going anywhere.
sides with Naomi.
Power be back on in a minute.
Of course it is.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake identifying yourself like that.
It's over, cop.
Hey, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
Remember the can't graffiti there on the wall. Ooh. Oh, they cut it on security cams.
Remember the cat. That's my going away present for
Oh,
you.
no.
On to bigger
They
and
recorded
better
it on purpose.
A couple minutes ago. It's everywhere.
That's not security footage.
Do you
That's
know yet?
they did that.
Havelock is one of us. This is still our station. Let's make sure that people don't think otherwise.
Jadid is a
Semi.
badass.
Long time, partner. Listen, I need a favor. I need you to run down a transponder code for me, okay?
Love the 3D display stuff. That's so cool. Want that so bad.
Can I ask you the same thing? Figured you'd be out hunting down the guy who jacked up your partner.
All this shitstorm that we're in, it's all got to do with her. Julie Mao.
I'm listening.
He's
That
right.
memory crypt that we took
But-
out of that stiff?
I don't know
Yeah.
how
Right.
he's
Go
how he
3D.
knows he's right.
It had an unregistered flight path for a ship called the Anubis. Anubis. The Anubis left Phoebe Research Station and it was headed. I need more pieces to the puzzle.
What do you
Evidence.
think is
You need
on
evidence,
this
buddy.
Anubis?
Something worth spilling a lot of blood over.
Maybe this is above your pay grade.
Well, it's absolutely above his pay grade. He's a nothing
Nothing I can do,
detective
huh?
on series.
I don't think I can crack the case.
No, I mean, you need to take this upstairs.
Lots of drones always around. Maintenance drones, surveillance drones.
Can we hear you?
Want to negotiate peacefully?
Mr. Morama, I need you to listen very carefully. We will not listen to threats. We do not negotiate with terrorists. Is that
That
clear?
is
I understand.
Johnson's
Think about
voice.
your
We just heard it.
children. You in command out.
Anderson Station out.
That's why we're flashing back. Because Anderson is the butcher. That, or not Anderson, Johnson.
taking this as
Johnson is
far
the
as we
butcher
can.
of Anderson Station.
have. It's only been.
Yeah, I don't think any of these people survive. That is sad. Bunch of kids in there. Although I'm remembering that the Marine they had with them might have been female. I think they maybe get a female Marine.
You know I'm an engineer.
Why not go to Tycho if we got nowhere else to go?
It's a long story.
Yeah, we'll hear that
I
story.
always back your play because you always do the right thing. But usually I can figure out why.
It's not the place, it's the man.
They're definitely
Fred
going to
Johnson.
Tycho.
You know him?
I think Naomi has a personal relationship with somebody in the OPA. Maybe it's not Johnson, maybe it is, but there's a connection. Where's the coffee beans? Where are they?
With our track record, we'll probably get Tycho blown to smithereens, too.
It's
Run through
funny.
the files on the dock incident. Slow down. Give me a better look at the people. Stop. You
That's Belter's sign for something.
identify that man. Call it a conflict of interest.
Whatever gets you through the day, Baratna. So keeping the peace. I'm sorry about your partner. An appalling injustice.
Disavowing the regular folk.
Piece of trash who tried to crucify him is not one of our ranks. What's worse, he's not even remorseful.
He has them.
Earthers get to walk outside into the light.
This is like a
Breeze,
South
pure
African
air.
type accent.
Look up at a blue sky and see something that gives them hope. And what do? They look past that light, past that blue sky. They see the stars, and they think, mine.
Everybody always thinks they're in the right.
What's your point?
Earthers have a home. Call it, and you'll get Fila Kothari's location.
He's offering him the killer.
Do whatever
Well,
you think is right.
not the killer, but
Sounds like a bribe. I haven't asked you for anything.
Anderson Dawes, OPA bigwig. I don't know if he's the top of the whole thing. Forget. Maybe.
Show Daddy house manual. Okay?
Yeah, these people are already doomed, unfortunately. They're not going to accept a surrender.
UN1, please respond.
Oh, they just ignore them. That's really mean.
Justice for lost ship Canterbury under proof gave way to violent mobs who targeted Martian.
Looks like we're not the only ones who remember the can.
Retaliation for what some
Juice
call an
boxes, juice bags for drinking. That's how it would be.
Can't be. Well, partner, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to stay anonymous now.
Yep. Their original message
Want your face to look a little different.
went out. Just figuring that out. Different guy.
Helping kids who lost their parents, folks who choking on the blood in their lungs. I never saw her shed a tear over the fact that she
Do-gooder.
would take anti-cancer meds for the rest of her life. Only time I did see her cry was these belters at a rally. I told her, "You're one of us now."
And that ship was.
Why would he tell him this?
There. Julie was on it.
Jesus Christ.
Where'd he work out of?
Come on, he'd kill me if I told you.
I just saw him at the morgue. He's on his way to the recycler. He's mushroom food.
He can't kill you if he's dead already.
You want to join him?
Oh, remote control handcuffs. I like it. That's cool. I wonder what that means. Probably I love you or something.
There's an auxiliary tight beam transmitter mounted on Toro 5. I think it's just outside of their jamming range. I should be able to relay the station's camera footage and broadcast out.
Interesting. So this is how the rest of the system learns about this problem.
My name is Miranda Brown. We have tried repeatedly to surrender to the UN Marines, but we just wanted to be heard for the sake of our children.
And that's the end of that, I think. Wow. Yep, no wonder they call him the Butcher. No wonder. Oh, you're gonna give us a shot of them floating in space.
Well done.
Colonel Fred Johnson. Yep. Yeah. When he was in the UN, and now he is not.
You have my solemn promise that you will not be harmed. Do not deviate from them in any way. Safe journey.
Oh, he's gonna teach them how to change the name and identity of their ship. That's cool.
Rocinante. Huh?
Okay.
Spanish for workhorse.
This is
I like
their
it.
ship.
I knew a lady named Rocinante. She was good to me.
Rocinante.
Whatever. Punch it.
Tycho is a shipyard. They may actually transform the ship. At some point they're going to turn it into something that looks innocuous. Instead of a Martian battle cruiser or whatever it is. Did he get the information off that device before he flipped it in there? Okay, this is the data brokers.
Ah, sas.
You're gonna give him what he wants.
So a guy comes in, says he wants a Sherpa. Come back here, tell this dude he's got a customer, is that right?
Okay. Blank storage devices. He's looking for something that's full or has data on it. Okay, they're exploring their new ship now. Trying to figure out where everything is and Alex, I'm sure, is enjoying being at the helm of a really responsive, powerful ship that he doesn't have to put match heads into to make it work. Pure and Clean, that's the name of the company that ran the Canterbury. I see his patch. Keeps the rain off his head and hides the data chips. That's all he was there for, huh? Oh! Ooh. Yeah, of course that's where we're gonna leave it. Yep, little bit of a cliffhanger there. Okay. All right. Very cool. I had forgotten that the ship that they escaped the Donager in is the Rocinante, which is a ship that they employ as their main home base of operations, transportation for a very good portion of this story. Yeah, I forgot that the Tachi became the Rocinante. So that's very cool. This ship, we're gonna learn, is quite capable, has some amazing armaments, and is going to do them very well for quite some time. I'm excited to learn more about the ship next episode. I'm sure we'll, as we roll into Tycho, which is a shipyard, be able to learn quite a bit more about it. I'm not quite remembering what the issue that Naomi has with Fred Johnson. I'm remembering that there's some form of a personal relationship between her and someone in the OPA organization. Maybe it's Fred Johnson, maybe it's someone else. I'm having trouble remembering, but they definitely are headed to Tycho, and they should, if I recall correctly, be forming some kind of a rough alliance or something with the OPA. It's the only organization that is friendly to them right now, because Mars definitely is not, or would not be if they knew they existed, and Earth thinks they're probably troublemakers, I think. So interesting. I also I am rereading the series as I move along in this, and I haven't yet gotten to the portion where Havelock gets pinned to the bulkhead. When I saw that, I remembered that he did not survive it. I could just be wrong. I remember that event happening, but I don't remember him surviving it. But that's, again, could just be my poor memory. Once I get to that part again, I'm sure it will remind me. What else do we have? The development of us understanding through flashbacks the nature of the attack on the Anderson station is pretty brutal. I don't know that Fred Johnson has a good excuse for why this occurred, but it does not seem very nice that he would ignore their surrender and destroy them anyway. Hopefully, he has some kind of technological excuse that the messages didn't come through or something. But despite that, I mean, they literally were not armed. They didn't have to kill them. They could have just gone in and arrested them, and then that would have had the same effect. They would have had control of the station without damaging any of the critical infrastructure. So I think regardless of what the excuse is, it was a poor way to handle that that event. But it did definitely trigger him leaving the UN military and becoming a part of the OPA is what I remember. So, yeah. So there's that. I forget who is ultimately in charge at the top of this whole thing. Anderson Dawes and Fred Johnson are both very high up in the OPA. I forget if one of them is higher than the other, or if they are working as a team, or if there's somebody even above all of that. But I recall working with both of them for quite a bit through this story. So we'll probably see much more of both of them. Loved, again, the full hard science realism, the blood droplets floating through 0G to splatter. Although I'm not quite so sure that they would literally splatter like that. It might just bounce right off of his face, but it is what it is. Their continued use of the magnetic boots to remind us that they're in 0G, or that at any moment they could be in 0G. I think for most of this episode they were just drifting, not under power, so I think they have to be under power for there to be gravity. So I think they were literally just in 0G. And yeah, just more of the dynamic with Naomi and Amos, with them being like a voting block. They are tied together for whatever reason. We haven't seen any of that story yet. But Amos does pretty much anything he says, yet he went to her to talk her down off of her stance on the Tycho station visit. So it's not entirely one-sided. Like, it's not Naomi says goes everything. It's we're a team and she listens to him as well. So that's interesting. And then yeah, I think that's all the primary points I wanted to cover. The events on series are progressing just as I remember. It's becoming more and more of a tense situation there as resources dwindle, partially because of the destruction of the Cant, but partially because Earth and Mars and the outer, the other planets don't get along very well. And currently it seems like an Earth corporation has control of Ceres, but Anderson wants it to be home for the Belters. So Belter owned and operated, basically, and eject the Earth corporations. So we'll see how that progresses as we move through the series. So yeah, with that, we'll leave it there. Very much appreciating all of the comments. I'm learning so much from you folks about the meta aspects of the show creation and behind the scenes stuff, and learning about the authors, and the fact that there is not a single author named James Corey, and that's not... Hey folks, I realized while editing this episode that my original film file for this just sort of cut off there. I'm sure I didn't have too much more to say, but I wanted to thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video.